What is good, guys? Welcome back to another brother to brother chat, B2B chat. We got some beautiful, strong coffee. I like my coffee strong, you know, and short as well. I don't like adding loads and loads of milk to it because I drink coffee for the coffee. Like, I like the taste of coffee. Sensational. This is genuinely the best I've ever made it. The coffee is getting better and better as we progress through the series. We've got a little apple as well. This is such a weird combo. Coffee with apple. But it is what it is, guys. It's all I could find you guys today. We had kiwi this morning. I like to usually start my mornings off with like eggs. Like I probably eat the same breakfast every single day. And it's like 5 eggs with some form of sourdough toast, avocado, and then sometimes some fruit as well. So we had some kiwis this morning. And now we got a little apple for the fiber. Hmm. This video. You know when people say like balance and like you need to have like good balance? I don't know. Me personally, I've never liked balance. Balance makes me depressed. Balance makes me feel normal. And I don't like that at all. Even throughout med school, constantly, I was either just like, I was all in on one thing. Whether it was studying for an exam, I was all in on that. Working on the business, I was all in on that. I had different phases and periods of growth. And actually, I had someone ask me the other day over text, and he was like, you know, he had his own business as well. My client actually. So he had his own business, and he was studying dentistry. And he was telling me like, how do you balance the two? Because I don't want my business to suffer, but I also don't want my grades to suffer. How do I actually balance these things? And I told him the question isn't how do you balance, right? You physically can't balance them, right? It's more about prioritization and contrast, right? I always lean towards contrast over balance. What's the difference? Contrast is having seasons of your life where you focus and become obsessed with one thing and then switching up and doing something else completely different, right? And even you can even take that to a micro level on a day to day. Have one day where you're fully working on the business and then one day where you're fully studying, for example. Or even more than that, you focus on you have different blocks of prioritization, right? So contrast is going to get you so much further than balance because when you try to balance something, it assumes you're splitting your attention between multiple things. And we can't multitask as much as you think we can. Humans can't multitask. I definitely can't, right? So you're going to get a lot more out of it if you focus 100% of your attention and effort into one thing and only move on to the next once you feel like you've done that to a good enough level, right? So for me, it was more to do with contrast. And I told him, like, it's not about balancing it, it's about having periods of prioritization where you prioritize your business more than study, and then other times where you prioritize study more than your business. So for me, for example, when I got closer to exam season and exam block, I was only studying, right? But throughout for maybe the first 10 weeks of the semester, right, I was basically doing business most of the time. Like I was working on my business more than I was studying, right? It's about prioritization and it's about contrast. Okay. And even for me, like I'm a very work hard, play hard person. I don't like being in the middle. Like I don't like, working 9 to 5 and then just having one day a week where I can enjoy. Like I'm either all in, somewhere in Thailand, just laying down, sipping some coconut, or I'm locked in with work and that's my entire life. Like I like that. I don't know about you, but I definitely like that. Having that contrast. Um, yeah. And right now, the library, it feels like I have such an I have a void in my schedule. I thought this would definitely be different. I thought, if I'm going to leave like med school schedule behind, and I'd fill it in with other stuff. But right now, at this stage in my business, I genuinely don't know what to do. Like I'm kind of just like with the clients that are there, I'm serving them, and then with the rest of my time, I'm getting more clients. But I've kind of like I don't really know what to spend my effort on, which is quite weird. Um, I don't know. I think I've always found this way of just letting answers come to me naturally. Like I know that I don't know the answer now, but if I potentially just give it a few days and I'd figure it out. So yeah, I guess trusting in that the answers are going to come to me, whether it be today, tomorrow, in a week, or even a month's time. The answers are going to come, and it's more just surrendering the outcome and being like, yeah, I don't really know what to do now, but I know that I will end up knowing when it is the right time, when God feels that now is the right time for me to know, right? So yeah, it's a good frame to hold. It's definitely a good mindset to have. But that's where I'm at the moment. I think a lot of what held me back when I was first starting was half-ass, doing it half-ass, half in, half out. Like giving something not my all because at the end of the day, I didn't want to feel like I committed everything I had and still failed. The fence is where dreams die. If you're sitting on the fence being like, you know, I'm committing, but I'm only committing 50% because in case I fail, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. That's bullshit, bro. Because the only way you can win is if you go all in. It's paradoxical. It's like you have to risk it for the biscuit, right? I saw a post the other day. It's like no risk, no Dubai, but you know what I mean. Like same idea, right? Like you have to go all in sometimes, and just back against the wall and push. And honestly, that helped me unlock a gear in me that I didn't know I had. Like when I put myself in debt and I left med school. Like it's not even about the it's not even about the extra time that I now have. It's about the situation I put myself. I upped the stakes, right? It's actually nothing to do with the increase in time that I now have because I would argue right now I could probably still study for exams and do what I'm doing now comfortably. Like I'm pretty laid back at the moment. I wouldn't say I'm working hard, but I would also say I have a lot more I could do, right? That's why I realize working hard isn't everything. It's about the intention. Yeah. So when you put yourself in the situations where you have to pull it off, there's no other option. You become a different beast. I'm telling you, you become a different beast. That's why I'm such a big advocate for investing into yourself. And I'm investing in terms of money. And this is why it's so powerful. You can use money as a driving factor to achieve great things. If you put your money where your mouth is, which a lot of people aren't willing to do, you have to pull it off. You have to make the money worth it, right? That's the power of actually investing in yourself. Like I would even suggest that let's say there were two programs that were exactly the same. I would argue that charging more for that program and paying more for that program will get you better results because you've put more stakes on the line. You have put more money where your mouth is. And therefore, you are more incentivized to work harder at it. And therefore, that's what's going to get you the result. It's kind of like a psychological thing when you put money down on yourself. And that's why I don't like, I love giving advice out for free, but I find that it often doesn't work. Like, I'd check back in with the guy that I gave advice to a month, a month down the line, 2 months down the line, and they're still exactly where they were. So it's kind of frustrating. It's like I'm putting all this time into the free calls, and I like it. Like I genuinely love doing that, but I don't when the people don't actually take the word, actually take the advice that they asked for, right? So, um, I think that is the power of investing in yourself. And a lot of people are afraid to make that commitment, but at the end of the day, that's why you've got winners and that's why you've got losers. The winners would do anything required to win. I invested 15K into myself. I don't think I've shared this publicly yet. Back 8 months ago, I invested, not 8 months ago, it's probably a year from now. I had 3K in my account and I invested 15K into a mentorship for 6 months. And I had 3K in my account at that moment. Right. So like obviously I was paying it off as I was making more money with the current business I had. I'm still alive now, right? Like nothing, I didn't die from that. But it really flipped another gear in me that made me push harder and harder. Sometimes you have to do that. You know, you can still get the results without doing that, but I find that it allows you to get the results much quicker because you put yourself in a situation where you have to win. You don't, it's not a nice to have thing, it's a must have, and back against the wall, balls to the wall, you, you, you prove to yourself how much you're actually capable of. I did things that people didn't think were possible. I was actually 7 GPA in medical school running a business with 10 tutors. Like, that is unheard of, right? That's unheard of. But it's fucking possible. And I'm not different to you, bro. We are the exact same, bro. If I can do it, you can do it. Simple as that. Mm. The core foundation to achieving anything is your beliefs. Because if you don't believe you can do it, you're never going to do it. Genuinely. No matter how hard you try, you are never going to get there because you don't actually believe it's possible. And that's why when people don't believe they can make X amount of money, it's like, that is true for you. Because you don't believe you can do it, you're not going to do it. Does that make sense? Right? If you don't believe there's a possibility, then any effort you put into that, if you subconsciously don't believe that you can do it, you're not going to get the results at all. And that's why I think everybody is correct. The world is very generous. Whatever you believe is fact because it's the reality you experience. The reality we choose is the reality we get. If I think that I'm weak, if I think that, I'm not capable of doing this, then I will never be able to do this, right? So it's literally all a choice, Do you choose to have the thing? Like, do you choose to get in shape? Like, are you going to make that choice or not? Like, if you don't think you're capable of doing it, then you're never going to do it. As much as you try and go to the gym, as much as you try and get your diet in order, you're always going to go back to being your old version of yourself. And this is why I always say, like, you have to kill that version and become the person who does those things and give yourself permission to actually have the result, right? But at the end of the day, it's literally all a choice. Like, I started a business and I'm growing that because I believe I can do it. Like, there's nothing holding me back at the end of the day. I can do it and I will do it, right? And that's, I think, on that note, how people say, like, rich kids stay, like, how people that are born in rich families, they are usually rich themselves. It's actually not to do with inheritance. It's not to do with the money they get from their rich parents. It's to do with the belief that they can do it too, instilled in them at such a young age. They grew up having the things, right? Seeing the Mercedes parked in the driveway, seeing the dad live a fulfilling life, doing what he loves, seeing the mansions, the villas, the first class. They saw those things. So in their mind, it's within reach. They have given themselves permission to have it because they grew up around it, right? So there is no shred of doubt in their mind. They believe fully in their hearts that they are capable of getting those things too because they have proof, physical proof in real time that those things are possible for the people around them. So why not them? And that's the discrepancy. Like, that is the discrepancy between people that grow up rich and people that grow up poor. It's not to do with the money that they have, because most of the people that grow up rich are mostly ending up being self-made anyway. It's about the belief. Poor people haven't seen proof of what they can do yet. They haven't seen proof of what they're actually capable of achieving. So they don't believe they can do it. There's always going to be the shred of doubt in their mind because no one in their family, no one around them actually got those things, right? So they don't actually believe they can get there too, right? So I would say that is the factor why rich people stay rich and poor people stay poor, right? You just have to break that curse. That's what I'm trying to do, at least. But break the generational curse. That's why people say that. It's fucking so true. Because once you break that curse, you give everyone proof that it can be done, right? So yeah, you have to be strong-willed enough to do it. Simple as that. It's all about the belief that you can do it too, right? The reality is often a mirror to what we believe. Right? Like if I believe that I am in such a bad situation, then the world will give me more evidence to validate that belief. It's like a red car theory. If I tell you to look for red cars on the street, you're gonna find red cars, right? You're gonna find more red cars than if you weren't looking for red cars, right? It's the same thing. The world is very subjective. How we experience reality is completely and utterly subjective. So if I put on, a darker shade of glasses, I'm gonna see the dark things. If I have a pessimistic view, everyone's against me. I'm destined to fail. The world's an unfair place. Um, rich people are bad. Um, all the fallacies that people believe in. Those things are very, very true to them. They experience those things on a day to day. They have evidence to back up those beliefs. They're not delusional, right? That's a different thing. They're not delusional because they have evidence to back it up. It seems very valid to them. But the thing that they don't realize is the world is going to give you evidence of anything you believe, right? If I believe the world is an amazing place, people are loving, and I am capable of doing this, then I'm going to find evidence. If I truly believe that in my heart, I'm going to find evidence around me to validate those things, right? We always get what we deserve. We always get what we choose. And that's the beautiful thing about the world. We always get those things. So it's just a matter of like, do you want to make the choice that's going to make your life better, or are you going to make the choice that's going to make your life miserable? That's literally it. Like, are you going to believe things that make you weaker, that take the power away from you and put it into other things? Or are you going to believe the reality that you are everything, that you are capable of what you want, and that everything's amazing, right? Like, two choices at the end of the day. You'll find evidence for either one of those. So make the choice. It's all a choice at the end of the day. It's all a choice. It's awesome. When you realize that, it's fucking awesome. Because, I can choose to believe something that's going to make my life 100 times better. And it will make my life 100 times better. It sounds really voodoo, but if you really believe that in your heart, trust me, it changes the game, man. It changes the fucking game. And this is why mindset is such a big aspect of growth and just getting where you want to be. But, yeah. I know a lot of people dwell on like different mindset tactics and stuff like that, but it literally just all comes down to what belief do you have? The self-belief that you instill yourself with. If you have unbreakable self-belief, then you don't need any mindset tactics. You already got it. If you already know in your heart that you're gonna achieve your goal, you don't need mindset. That's it. That's all. That's the whole purpose of mindset. To make you believe that state, or to enter you into that state. That's everything. The only reason people aren't where they want to be is because they don't believe they can do it. I guarantee you. They might say they want to. They might say that they really want it. But deep down, they haven't give themselves permission to have That's what I see most of the time with the people that hop on my calls and end up not joining up with my program. They have a shred of doubt to their abilities. They think that they're going to get too busy. They think that life's going to get hard and they're not going to be able to keep the results. They think that, now's not the right time. And they're right. If they believe now is not the right time, it isn't going to be the right time. If you think it's busy, then it is going to be busy and you're not going to get there, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, your reality, the way you view the world is always a mirror to what you think. Literally that. Yeah, and the mirror only smiles back if you smile first. You must smile first for the mirror to smile back. So, yeah, whenever someone tries to argue their belief with me, I don't try and argue back. I just tell them, you're right. Because at the end of the day, reality is subjective. Like I said, if you want to believe this thing that takes power away from you, that makes you weaker, you are absolutely going to experience that in real time. So, that's the reality that you choose. That's the reality you're going to get. I have no sympathy. That's exactly what you get, right? We all get what we deserve. And it's very empowering to know that because it gives you full and utter accountability. Like, you are where you are because of the decisions you've made in the past. But on the flip side of that, and what's really empowering about that is you are also responsible for the future. The actions and the things that you choose to think now are going to shape the rest of your life. That's so empowering because you can change those things. You are in full control. Don't ever let anyone or anything convince you that you are not in control of your life. It is all a choice. Anyway, it's been real. Chad the Chad with another B2B chat. Hope you enjoyed today. God bless. You're capable of so much, bro. Get after it. Give yourself permission to have what you want and take it. The world is your oyster, bro. Do it. Do the thing that you want to do. No one's stopping you beside yourself. Remember that, and you'll be all gravy.